Hey, it's Mike. Thanks for tuning back in. Today's Sunday. It is day 32 of my streak of putting out sports card videos on YouTube. At 31 days, there are a lot of guys who have hitting streaks in the major leagues at 31 games. As you know, if you've been following along, I'm going for 56 straight days to match Joe DiMaggio's hitting streak. At 32 is when it starts to spread out. At 32, there are only two guys who have 32-game hitting streaks. One of those is Hal Morris of the Reds in 1996 into 1997. The other one is Harry Heilman of the Tigers in 1922 into 23. So it's pretty rare. There are not a lot of guys who had hitting streaks of 32 or more games. I'm excited to get here. We'll see if I stay healthy and get to 56. I've got 3.5 more weeks to go, so we'll see. So today I want to talk about the auction that ended at Goldin yesterday, but primarily about the Aaron Judge ball, the 62 home run ball. A lot of interesting stuff with this story, and I have a ton of notes to go through here, and then it goes into a second page too. As you may remember, Corey Yeomans, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, a VP at an investment firm, caught the ball in the air. Great catch. And his attorney afterwards said that it was worth $3 million, or that he had been offered at that time $3 million. And another auction house, I think it was Memory Lane maybe, offered $2 million for it. But as Aaron Judge bet on himself and got $150 million more than what was offered a year ago, Corey decided to bet on himself too, and it did not work out as well as it did for Judge. Where he was supposedly offered $3 million, he ended up making, well, the auction sold for $1.5 million, and that includes a buyer's premium, it includes fees, it includes a lot of stuff in there that he wouldn't have had to pay if he had gone private. In an interview yesterday, where they asked him about why didn't he sell it privately, he said that there wasn't enough transparency in a private sale. And it's not all about the money. It's about making sure you do the right thing, or something to that effect. I'm probably slightly misquoting him there. But he also said that he had some concerns with any private sale, and he wanted to bring it to a public auction. I think that's an easy thing to say now, after you've sold it for half of what you could have sold it for, and really less than half when you factor in auction fees and things like that. And so then Eric Whiteback, the collectibles guru, tweeted out that he had just spoken with Ken Goldin, and Goldin was very pleased with the sale. And he also said, Goldin on October 4th or 5th said, and he tweeted out the link to the article, that the $2 million that was offered by another auction house was a drastic overpay, and he pegged the value at about $1.25 million. And he did legitimately say that at the beginning of October, but this ignores the fact that less than a week later, or about a week later, he had said that it is possible that in a public auction, the ball goes for $5 million. So what changed between the $5 million guess to the $1.25 million? Now, there are a lot of things. Yeomans, I'm just going to pronounce it that way, made a lot of mistakes here. And so, I don't think that this is all Ken Goldin's bluster and his perfect prediction. But Goldin, we're basically ignoring the fact that Goldin said it could go for $5 million. Now, Goldin also said if it goes up in the next 2 weeks, so by mid-October, it would go for $5 million. And that's one of the mistakes here. And I don't know if it's Yeomans or if it's Goldin who made this mistake. Why wasn't this up for sale during the playoffs? It should have been during MLB peak. And my friend Ryan says it best. Who on earth thinks that 3 months later, in the middle of winter, a week before Christmas, heading into the NFL playoffs and in the thick of the NBA season and World Cup, that's the time to sell it? Goldin also says that all the people who offered more than the $1.5 million before the auction started were aware of the auction and none of them bid on it. Prove it. There were only 6 bidders. We don't know who the winner was. We don't know who bid on it. The winner is some guy named Joe from Wisconsin, but is anonymous. How do we know that those people who offered $3 million and $2 million didn't bid on it, didn't think that they were going to get it at, or maybe they got it at $1.5 million because it was sold in the middle of the winter as prices come down, 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 down. Another interesting thing is that Goldin tweeted out that the final price was $1.5 million and then deleted that tweet. I didn't understand why they deleted that. They have retweeted Darren Rovell's story about it, but still their initial tweet about it is gone. My friend Ryan also makes a couple of other good points. He says, congrats on losing $2 million on the ball that was hit for the 7th most home runs in Major League Baseball history. A little snarky by Ryan, but a good point. It is the most home runs in American League history and certainly in Yankee history as well, obviously. So there's a lot of value there. But in 1998, Phil Ozerski caught Mark McGwire's 70th home run ball. And the Cardinals wanted it back. Cardinals offered him a signed bat, ball, and jersey by McGwire. And Ozerski said that he wanted to meet McGwire. He would take those 3 things as long as he could meet McGwire. And McGwire said no. So McGwire had a chance to get that ball back and just didn't want to meet a guy. So Ozerski turned around and sold it for $3 million, which was about $5.5 million in today's money. Really interesting. It was actually released later on that it was Todd McFarlane, comic book creator, created Spawn. I think he was like a Spider-Man artist too. He had bought it along with McGwire's 66th, 67th, 68th, 69th, and then a couple of Sosa's ball, like Sosa's 61st and 66th home run balls too. He bought them all for what today would be $6 million. Ozerski was only making $30,000 a year at the time, so the $3 million was a massive payday for him. And good for him. I would not give it back. I would not trade it for an autographed ball, bat, and jersey. What a scam. I would definitely go for the payday. Ryan also says, there's only one signature on that ball, and it's Rob Manfred's facsimile signature. So, yeah, I mean, get that ball signed by Judge, and maybe it's worth $3 million. If you're interested in Roger Maris's 61st ball, it was caught by a truck driver named Sal Durante. He offered it back to Maris for free, and Maris said, no, you should sell it and get yourself some money. Good guy, Maris. Durante would sell the ball for $5,000, which in today's money would be $50,000. So, pretty good haul for Durante. The collectibles market, of course, today is way bigger than it was back then. In this auction also was the Frank Thomas 1990 Topps No Name on Front Error, the only PSA 10 in existence, sold for $170,000. So that sound you hear is all the men in their mid-40s like me frantically scribbling off the name on the front of the Frank Thomas. No, I'm just kidding. Of course, you can't do it that way. But I would love to have a no name on front at PSA 1 even. Just as a one of those things like the Billy Ripken FF error, which I do have. I love having it, and it's something that you can show and tell people about. It's a great story piece. So that's all I've got for today. Let me know in comments, what do you think happened here? Did Yeomans lose out on a lot of money? Were those $3 million, $2 million offers legit? Did he mess up by doing this much, much later in the year than he should have done it? Yeah, I'm curious to know what you think. And if you're new here, click that subscribe button. I'm putting out daily sports card content. A little detour today into the Judge ball, but obviously talked about the Frank Thomas no name on front card too, so I'm good. Thanks very much for watching.